Hey everyone, how's it going? Cell here. So, GGG recently brought back PoE Royale. Was originally an April Fool's joke in 2018. I didn't play it because wasn't really that interested in it, and it was only for a day. But they've brought it back as a weekend event this weekend, and every weekend until the end of the new league, except for the week the league launches. So, pretty much every weekend for the next 3 months, except next weekend, the weekend of the 23rd of July. So I've been playing it a ton, really enjoying myself, and so I thought I'd share my experience in the form of some top tips here. So let's get started with a very basic one at number 5, and that would be to prepare. So I'll pause the video here for the sake of explanation, but something I don't do in this game that I try to do every game is move all my default attack around, get my movement how I like it, which is on left click, equip things in slots that I want, switch to whatever weapon I'm looking at using. I used to do, sword in one slot, bow in the other. Now I tend to do sword in one slot, wand in the other, because I have strayed away from bow skills in the past few games. But yeah, whatever you prefer. And this is just so that when you're running and moving and things like that, you don't accidentally get caught in an attack animation when you're trying to get away from a player or something, or even, drowning in a sea of mobs because you got a single target skill or something like that. Alright, the next tip is mostly for people like me, and it is about concealed stashes. And so if you're having trouble finding your initial skill, you're probably doing what I did and not realizing that you should be getting your skills from concealed stashes. So if I unpause the video here and let this play its course, you'll notice that there are a lot of trees and little huts / small buildings around the beach and starting areas, and those are where you should be heading as soon as you spawn in, as soon as you're able to. So right here, you can see that's a concealed stash, and once I open it up, it is guaranteed, as far as I know, to have active skill gems in it. So often only one, but sometimes two, depending on the stash. And so that'll get you started. I ran around, no joke, like my first 6 games wondering how everybody else is finding skills so fast. And yeah, apparently I was playing too late because I didn't pay attention to the concealed stashes. Also worth noting that other people can't really see in here from a distance or under the trees either, and so you'll sometimes wander underneath one and find that somebody's already there or it's already been looted, so be cautious of that as well. Alright, number 3 is getting familiar with the passive tree. It's a distinct passive tree from the main game, so a lot of people are unfamiliar with it because it's brand new, of course. And it takes time, memorizing where things are, what you might want to do based on where you're at in terms of gear and skills that you have. And so there is a way to check that out in more depth, and that is by dying. At the end of each game, chances are you probably died. And so if we skip ahead a little bit here, I will suffer that same fate, and then we can pause this video, because at the end of each game, if you die, you don't have to immediately exit. You can spectate, do whatever. You can also pop open the passive tree and look at and hover around and try to think things out and consider whether or not you could have done something a little differently or gone to a different spot. And so that's just a handy little trick I've been leveraging whenever I went in a new direction and wasn't quite feeling it, or need to refamiliarize myself with a certain area, or maybe I'm thinking of trying out something new next game. So if I die, I just pop this open for a little bit, look at it to my heart's content, So do that as well, and that'll be an easier way to get more familiar with it. Number 2 is to prioritize speed and accuracy. Sorry for the lag there, not sure what's up with that. There are a sizable number of skills that are currently in the Royale mode, and of course they're all subject to change, but as a fundamental concept, prioritize skills if you have a choice. Trend towards picking ones that are quick and accurate. So, good example of this would be like Explosive Arrow. Explosive Arrow has two chances to hit your opponent effectively. You can either aim it at terrain, or you can aim it at their actual character itself. Not to mention, it's fast, it's an arrow. You can get projectile speed or arrow speed to scale that up. And you can also scale up like your bow attack speed and things like that. The bows that are in the mode are pretty fast themselves, pretty high APS. Versus something like Frostbolt, which is slow. It does a decent chunk of damage, but sorry about that. It's just too slow to reliably hit other players, which is not going to work out in your favor most of the time. And my last quick tip here would be to use a variety of skills. Definitely experiment around. I know I use Frostbolt as an example, but maybe use Frostbolt and you find a good build with it, and it's like a crit build where you're taking the crit passives, and because you have such insane chance to crit, you're freezing everybody reliably, and you get a big freeze off or something like that. Or like in this example, again, sorry for the lag, I'm using Rolling Magma, I think it's called now. I think it was Magma Orb before, I don't quite remember. But yeah, when I first saw this go, I'm like, this is going to be terrible. But taking all of the projectile passives and being able to just launch it across the screen and then have it bounce a few more times after that has got me quite a few kills. Haven't won a game with it yet, but you know, that remains to be seen whether it's possible or not, at least on my end. I'm sure it's possible for somebody. But yeah, again, just not trying to stick to whatever the strongest skill is or trying to force the strongest skills will make you better at the fundamentals of the game and make it so that if skills are changed or rebalanced in the future, you'll still be good to go. And I think that's about it for this video, so if you did enjoy, please feel free to give it a like or subscribe. I'm going to put out more of these types of videos. Loving PoE Royale. Going to upload another one of a good run I had recently, so keep an eye out for that as well. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.